If you're a Disney Plus subscriber and you're watching The Mandalorian, Jack and I have a podcast for you.
Every week, we'll discuss the latest episode of The Mandalorian and talk about other great content and maybe some not so great content on Disney Plus as well.
As two lifelong Star Wars fans, we have a ton of fun geeking out over all the little details of the show, and we want you to join us every Monday.
So search for Disney Plus Reviews. That's Disney Plus Reviews. Hey, Phil, how about that, Baby Yoda? Baby Yoda says, "What's a podcast?"
Do you want the movie podcast?
I can't believe it. It's like a dream. What's wrong?
I just had a terrible thought. What if this is a dream?
Well, then kiss me quick before you wake up.
Arnold went to Mars on a 2-week vacation. He couldn't figure out if he was a secret agent or a construction worker. He found a new life, and then he shot his wife.
Did it at a divorce.
His wife was Sharon Stone. Turns out she was some other guy's wife. Oh, terraform Mars, terraform Mars. Thank you, Arnold. Terraform Mars, terraform Mars. Thank you, Arnold. When you go to Mars, you're accomplishing the dreams of Elon Musk. When you terraform Mars, you're surpassing Elon Musk. On Mars, there are self-propelled cars. Elon Musk makes self-propelled cars. Terraform Mars, terraform Mars. Arnold is king on Mars. He's king of the rebel forces. There are mutants on Mars, and they also drive and ride in self-propelled cars. Self-propelled cars, self-propelled cars. Don't fly out of the hatch and go out onto the surface of Mars. Your eyes will pop out of your head. That will probably leave a nasty scar on Mars. Terraform Mars, terraform Mars. Terraform Mars. Terraform Mars. Thank you, Arnold. And Mr. Quaid, you helped terraform Mars. Well, that's right. Welcome to the Horrible Movie Podcast. My name is Jack, and today I am talking about Total Recall, 1990s Total Recall, starring the quintessential action superstar action hero Arnold Schwarzenegger. He plays Doug Quaid, Dougie Quaid, and also Carl Hauser. But we'll get into that in a second. Wanted to talk quickly about just some different odds and ends. If you like this show, you will like Disney Plus Reviews. Producer Phil, who you've maybe heard on past episodes of this show. I've been riding solo for the last few of these just because COVID and taking some time away from some different things. Getting into summer, I have a busy schedule even in summer. And so with that said, Phil over there at Disney Plus Reviews has some great shows for you. If you like content from Disney Plus, you will love Disney Plus reviews. Great episode about Hamilton. I'm going to recommend that one. Highly downloaded and a great overall show. Check it out. So anyway, that one. And then I was recently on an episode of Conspiracy Unlimited with Richard Serrett. I talked about scandals in Hollywood. It was phenomenal. Richard Serrett, Conspiracy Unlimited. He also does a show called The Conspiracy Show. And also he also guest hosts on Coast to Coast, the largest AM show, largest five night a week show in the world on the radio. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. I saw the listenership for Coast to Coast on a sheet. It's been about a month ago, and it ranges at about 6.5 million listeners nightly, and that is in comparison to like a Glenn Beck or somewhere in that range, as far as like not in content obviously, but in means of actual listeners. It's pretty crazy. So Richard Serrett, like I said, listen to him. Conspiracy Unlimited. I'm on an episode of that. It's fun times. It's good times. With that said, you know what else is good times, folks? Total Recall. I remember very vividly watching this movie at my friend Josh's house when I was in, I believe, 7th grade. And I could be wrong, actually. I guess it would be 6th grade. And I watched it on VHS, and it was quite eye-opening. As a 6th grader, this is a rated R movie. So I'm not going to really delve into any of the horribleness. I'm not going to cuss on this show. But I will say this, that if you have children, maybe don't let them watch this movie. Maybe you let them watch. I don't know, but I would say don't. I know I wouldn't let my 9-year-old watch it. But for adults, this movie is quite entertaining. Has some very 80s trope in it, and I love that. It has some awesome, honestly, let's say action, but let's say the way their set design was for this, pretty detailed. Not too shabby. The plot and the way it's carried out, maybe it's kind of dumb because it becomes convoluted at times, and you're trying to figure out exactly what you're watching. But for a sci-fi movie in 1990, this was pretty well done. Arnold is Arnold. You are getting him in a role. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you hire Arnold for a role, you are getting this character that you see in this movie. And you're going to see him in Last Action Hero, just like this. You're going to see him in Jingle All the Way, just like this, which is a past episode of the show, by the way. And you're also going to see him in Predator, in Terminator. Maybe not Terminator, but similar roles all across the board for Arnold. And that's kind of how we like it. He doesn't need to expand. He doesn't need to do a highly dramatized role. We don't really want to see Arnold in that. We want to see him kick some butt. We want to see him as Daddy Daycare-esque kindergarten cop. We want to see him in, the fish out of water role for a big ripped out guy. And yeah, it's fun times. Arnold at his best in 1990, for sure. It is time, my friends, time for some deets, the details of the movie. And here we go. Total Recall. Release date, June 1st, 1990. Directed by Paul Verhoeven. Let me tell you about this cat. He is credited with RoboCop, which is very ironic and very obvious. The bad guy from this movie is also the bad guy from RoboCop. Excellent. Total Recall, obviously, Basic Instinct, Showgirls, hello, and Starship Troopers. And that doesn't surprise me. As far as RoboCop, as far as Total Recall 1990 edition, and as far as the Starship Troopers go, man, those three movies are kind of akin to each other. Well, I'll get to a little trivia after this, after we get done with the deets. But, yeah, Paul Verhoeven, their director. Produced by Buzz Feischens. Screenplay by Gary Goldman, not Gary Oldman, but Gary Goldman. and overall story by John Povell, Dan O'Brien, and Ronald Schutz. Based on and highly based on the short story We Can Remember It for You Wholesale by Philip K. Dick. Interesting story. It follows a guy named Doug Quayle, not Doug Quaid, but it's very similar, and that's what they got the source material from. Starring the effervescent Arnold Schwarzenegger. Rachel Ticotin plays Melina, his newfound love on the planet Mars. Sharon Stone plays his wife, Lori Quaid, who turns out to be an assassin. Are you an errand boy? Or are you an assassin? Are you an errand boy? Which are you? Are you an assassin? Are you an errand boy? Well, it turns out Sharon Stone is an assassin. And married to Michael Ironside's character, Richter. Very 80s bad guy. Michael Ironside, classic stuff. Ronnie Cox plays Velos Cohagen, the governor of Mars. Excellent work. Also starring Dean Norris as a mutant named Tony with a heart of gold. Anyway, so I digress. And the little person actress Thumbelina. As Thumbelina, Debbie Lee Carrington. Here she is. She's been in a lot of stuff. She passed away in 2018. R.I.P. Deborah Lee Carrington. With that said, my gosh, great other things to talk about on the deets of the movie. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. Can you believe it? Can you believe that the guy that did Planet of the Apes soundtrack, did the Star Trek soundtrack, that did Mulan, that did Jurassic World, he also did Total Recall in 1990. Whatever, that's all good. TriStar Pictures is a very TriStar Pictures-y show. Running time of 113 minutes, almost 2 hours. Feels like it at times, does kind of drag. Budget of about $60 million and a box office of $260 million. It had success. They, in fact, here's your trivia, folks. Here's your trivia. Ready for some trivia? In fact, so successful, they decided to make a sequel. However, the sequel, eventually, the company that they went to try to make a sequel with, that studio got bought out. The sequel ended up in developmental jail for a decade. And then that screenplay, what did it become? You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The screenplay for Total Recall 2 became, drumroll please, The Minority Report, starring Tom Cruise. Not sure if you knew that or not. Now you do. Tell a friend. Minority Report is the screenplay for the Minority Report started out as the sequel to Total Recall. Total Recall, it was called Total Recall 2. And I'm not kidding. I'm just joking. I don't know what it was called, but it was Total Recall 2. So there we go. Let's talk a little bit about this movie. And actually, you know what? Before we get into that, let's talk briefly about Arnold Schwarzenegger. One of my favorites because he is shameless in his acting. Let's have a little actor spotlight on Arnold Schwarzenegger. My favorite Arnold movie, and maybe I've said this before on the show, is Jingle All the Way. And it's because as a Christmas movie, I've seen it every Christmas for the last probably 15 or 16 years. My brother-in-law Clay and I, we watched this. And my son now has been indoctrinated into the Jingle All the Way, routine, tradition. And we love it. It's so cheesy. It's so fun. Sinbad is very underrated, folks. Sinbad is very funny. We need more Sinbad in our lives. With that said, Arnold Schwarzenegger, a treasure. I love the Predator movie, the original Predator movie. So good. Oh my gosh, so good. And I love the Terminator franchise. Also, I think The Last Action Hero, phenomenal. And he just pumps them out. Kindergarten Cop, okay, sure. Anything he's in where he's, like I said, fish out of water. I saw Twins with my parents and my brother Billy at the Glass Sword Cinema 3 in West Plains, Missouri, whenever it came out. And I have never laughed, I don't think, harder at a movie than I did when Twins came out. I was a kid. It was really funny to me. Danny DeVito as the little twin and Arnold as the big twin. The hilarity ensues as Arnold and Danny DeVito become bosom buddies. No, in fact, they become twins. That's right, twins. Coming to the Glass Sword Cinema 3. So anyway, there you go. There's your Arnold. Arnold has became the governor of California, governor of California, and he, honestly, pretty conservative when it comes to governors of California, but he very much, did an okay job. I think he, I don't know what kind of shape California's in currently. I think we're all in COVID shape, so I don't know what that looks like anymore. But I think overall, yeah, like any politician, lots of failures. But Arnold, I mean, he's an actor being a politician, did a pretty good job. Something about celebrities becoming politicians in California. You have Sonny Bono and you have, obviously, Ronald Reagan. So very famous people becoming politicians that were once actors. Well, there it is. There's the deets. There's the Arnold Schwarzenegger actor spotlight. Let's talk a little bit about Total Recall from 1990. Total Recall, we have Doug Quaid is a construction worker. Now, he's a construction worker in the year 2084. He can somehow afford to space travel to Mars, according to this thing. He's wanting to go on a trip to Mars, I should say. Ends up going on to this agency thing. Ends up going to Recall so he can have these memories implanted of a trip. It'll be just like a trip. But then something goes wrong, and he's not sure if the trip is actually happening or if he's a secret agent. And now he's this guy named Hauser in his secret agent dream. And he has to try to figure out what is real. He ends up being chased. It's very Walter Mitty. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. But he ends up getting chased North by Northwest style also. Ends up getting chased by these guys trying to kill him. That they're claiming he's somebody else. He is instructed through different types of spy ways that he has to get to Mars. He comes back, he's been chased, he ends up killing somebody. He comes back to his house. His wife is Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone's doing some exercise. She says, "What's happening? What's wrong?" "I'm being chased. I'm Arnold, and I'm being chased." And she's like, "No, you're not. You're going crazy. We need to call the doctor." He has blood on his hands. She ends up trying to shoot him. He fights her off. He then realizes maybe this recall dream thing that he thought was a failed thing at the recall place really is happening. And now he is instructed by this guy on the screen to take this syringe thing and shove it up his nose to get rid of this tracking device so they can't track him, so Michael Ironside's character can't track him. He doesn't end up shooting his wife yet, but he will soon. And he ends up being told by this person, "Here's this suitcase, do all this stuff, you need to go to Mars." He ends up going to Mars. Chased around Mars a little bit, he figures out that he is being told he is the hope of all the mutants on Mars. And he's going to end up having all the mutants want him to save them. They've been relegated to the lowest of lows, which is just basically this sad little entertainment industry on Mars in the lower levels of Mars. Obviously, Mars, you can't breathe on Mars. I don't know if Mars has such a lack of atmosphere. On this movie, whenever the glass is broken, the Mars atmosphere sucks you out like you're in space or something, the vacuum of space. I don't think that's accurate. There's another thing that happens too, but we'll wait till the very end for that, when you get sucked out into Mars. But he ends up talking to the people below ground, the rebels, who are going against the governor, Governor Cohaagen. And Cohaagen keeps popping up and trying to get him to come to Mars. Turns out he's either told himself or fooled himself that he's not actually himself, and he works with Cohaagen, or that's some sort of weird mind thing or some hoax. Anyway, he befriends a new lady. Well, first things first, he meets a new lady on Mars, played by Rachel Tickerton's character. And was it Melina? Is that her name? I got it wrong. But I get this wrong. Yeah, Melina, good job. High five. Patting myself on the back currently. And Melina befriends him, helps him find his way to not the other mutants, but to the mutants. Then he goes. His wife ends up showing up with this scientist guy, and the scientist guy says, "This is all a dream. You've lost reality." This is very Vanilla Sky-like. If you've ever seen Vanilla Sky, there's a lot of Vanilla Sky in this. I mean, even though this is before Vanilla Sky. And there's some Matrix aspect to this, too, which is kind of fun. So, honestly, this screenplay is pretty good. And the story, the backing story, I should say, is pretty good. It's just some of the cheesy 80s trope, maybe. And the car design on this is sad. But anyway, he ends up being attacked by his wife, ends up shooting her after she tries to help people take him to Cohaagen. He ends up escaping into the underground and meets the rebel leader, who's a mutant. He's a mutant with a heart of gold, or maybe a stomach of gold, because then this alien creature, Quado, comes out of his belly, and it's like Krang from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is what I thought of when I saw it. And he's like, "You're our only hope, and you've got to go to find the alien artifacts on Mars." And so he's like, "What are you talking about?" So anyway, then Quado character gets shot. Quaid gets captured. Melina gets captured. They got put in these chairs to try to kill them or try to make their brains explode. I'm not sure what. They shake a lot. They end up escaping and stabbing someone. And then they escape. They get into the underground of Mars. They find out that aliens, 500,000 years ago, were on Mars. And they were trying to save their planet. And they created this terraforming device, but they never activated it. And if you'll make a reverse Vulcan thing, so put your two middle fingers together. If you know about Vader from wrestling, he would do this with his fingers sometimes, and then the opposite. Anyway, I'm going two middle fingers together. You have to put that hand like that, basically four-fingered, maybe even three fingers, on this pad. That's how you're going to activate the terraforming of Mars and create an atmosphere. Cohaagen's wanting that not to happen because they're trying to mine this turbinium, which is this glacial stuff, and they're going to shove that turbinium into the hot core or the cold core, and that's going to create a chemical reaction, creating an atmosphere from this mountain. It's going to terraform Mars and create an atmosphere, at least. Maybe not terraform, but it's going to create an atmosphere. And there's going to have fresh, breathing air, and it's going to be phenomenal. This is an Elon Musk dream. If Elon Musk could have any dream he wants, I believe this may be it. We get to Mars, 1, check it off. 2, we're able to colonize it, check. We're able to walk around, check. And then we're able to maybe use alien technology to get breathable air on Mars. That's Elon Musk's dream. He actually has written about it many times. Use alien technology to get breathable air on Mars. And then he'll be the president of Mars. I digress. So it's a fight at the end with Cohaagen. Cohaagen ends up falling out onto the surface. He's the first person whose eyes explode, cartoon character-like. And I remember watching this as a 6th grader and being traumatized for days with these eyes popping out of the head. The other thing I was traumatized with on this movie is the lady, I guess she's a woman of the night. And she has three objects on her chest because she's a mutant. So mutants would have that. Pretty crazy. I remember seeing that going, wow, this is nuts. So anyway, those two things. The eyes bulging out of the head and the other things on the woman's chest. 3 things. So weird. And the best part of all, they're fighting. Quaid / Arnold / Hauser puts his hand on the alien thing, which is really funny to me. I remember watching this as a kid going, that's all you had to do was put your fingers like that? Like there was not like a code or something to crack or like some Indiana Jones scenario or any science fiction stuff. But, you just put your hand on the thing in the shape of your hands like the alien's hand would be shaped. And then you will terraform Mars. You will give Mars an atmosphere and air, a blue sky by the end of the movie. And it's going to be phenomenal. Arnold is Arnold in his very, very best. I have now a mashup of some Arnold fighting sounds. And just some Arnold sounds. And it's going to be phenomenal. So right now, ready yourself for Arnold fighting sounds and go. Yeah, exactly. That was it was literally Arnold fighting. It sounded like a lot of things, but I guarantee you it was Arnold fighting. Tremendous stuff. And Arnold is Arnold. We're not asking him to do anything but be himself, and I love it. I think it's phenomenal. What a story, too. If you've ever read anything or heard Arnold talk about how he came to America, and he was a bodybuilder, and he's a self-made guy. I mean, he married into essentially the Kennedy family, and then that that turned out as well at the end. But you know what I'm saying. So, long story short, Mars is better off because Arnold came along. He saved it. He got him an atmosphere. We can colonize it 100% now, and then they'll fight some sort of Revolutionary War situation because of taxes, and they'll throw, tea into the harbor of, Alpha Centauri. I don't know. Maybe they'll throw. There's Barks root beer in this movie. So maybe they'll throw some Barks root beer in the harbor. They're mad, and we're not going to take it anymore, and we're going to throw your Barks, Earth. We're throwing our Barks into the harbor, the Alpha Centauri, Andromeda Celestial Body Harbor, and maybe the Arnold Harbor, maybe the Quaid Harbor. Maybe they call it the... Anyway, I digress. So, good stuff. I hope all of you are doing well. It's a hard time. I wish we could go to Mars sometime to get away from whatever we've got going on here sometimes. The COVID is a never-ending twist and turn. It's pretty much annoying at this point. If you're not annoyed by it, it's because you didn't have anything else going on in your life anyway, I guess. It's pretty much the stupidest thing ever. Whatever you think about it, whether you're a pro-mask person or a non-mask person, or you're angry about having to wear a mask, or you're cool with wearing a mask as long as you can go into businesses, I don't know. But what I do know is that we all need to get along. We all need to talk. We all need to be civil to each other. We need to treat each other the way we would want to be treated. And we need to go out of our way to help one another. See a brother or sister in need, we need to go help those people. Okay? And they'll hopefully in turn do the same for you. As we get ready to go back to school, I've been in education for a long time. And as we get ready to go back to school, I am excited, but I'm also, we're all a little bit, nervous. What's this going to look like? Are we going to go to school for a week and then just go, probably shut her down? I don't know. Who knows? No one knows. That's the thing about it. And even people that have a plan, that plan can get ruined quickly. We've all had lots of plans. We all had plans to have a cool spring and have summer and have lots of vacations and give high fives to everybody we saw. Guess what? Right now, it's not time to high five each other. And that kind of stinks because I'm a high five guy. Anyway, sometimes a hugger. Can't help it. I mean, not like awkward forced hugs. I mean, that's a whole other conversation. So, anyway, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Let me know some movies you want to do, you would like me to talk about. I need to get back in with producer Phil and have a proper episode where he and I talk. And I got a few other folks I want to get on here. I've been riding solo lately just because it's been easier every couple weeks to kind of get in and do a few things. And it's just fun. It's a good outlet. I've always said that. Some people are in a golf league or maybe they play slow pitch softball. Well, I got a podcast. And I like the podcast and it's fun. And it's been a good time. So hopefully we'll see you down the road soon. And holler at me on Twitter at One Horrible Movie. Got a Facebook page. Just check out the Horrible Movie Podcast on Facebook. And there's lots of great stuff on podcast in general. I could give you lots of good ones to check out. If you need any suggestions, ask on the old internet. And I got some good ones. I listened to a good one recently, Lead Singer Syndrome. It's the lead singer of Silverstein, the band. I forget his last name's Hold. Anyway, he interviews all these awesome lead singers of bands, and it's bands from a couple from the 80s. I know Dee Snider was on one of the last ones I listened to, but like into the 90s. So if you like 90s music, there's some 90s guys on there. Our Lady Peace's lead singer, Rain Maida, is on there, and then Nick Hexum from 311 is another one I listened to, and then all the way into the 2000s. My favorite one so far is Stephen Christian from Anberlin, and maybe you know this. I really like Anberlin, one of my favorite bands. Stephen Christian actually came on this podcast and did a segment. It's been a long time ago, and that was pretty cool because he's one of my favorite lead singers. So anyway, Lead Singer Syndrome, you need to check it out, and pretty good, entertaining. A lot of episodes. He's got like 200-something episodes now. So again, there's your podcast stuff. Already talked about Conspiracy Unlimited. Can't say enough good things about Richard Serrett and all the things they've done for our show. And Disney Plus reviews, and the Studio DNA Network in general. Got Sif Pop, got some other great podcasts on there. And, yeah, good stuff. Yeah. So, hope you guys are doing good. We'll leave you with the ballad of Total Recall that we started the show with. I'm kind of enjoying creating a song for all y'all. It's just fun for me. Maybe you think it's stupid. I don't know. Tell me some ideas for songs. I could write you one personally. It'd be great. I like writing songs. It's fun. So, hope you guys do great. Have a good one. Thanks so much. Holler if you ever need me. I'm here to help. See ya. Arnold went to Mars on a 2-week vacation. Couldn't figure out if he was a secret agent or a construction worker. He found a new life, and then he shot his wife. His wife was Sharon Stone. Turns out she was some other guy's wife. Oh, terraform Mars, terraform Mars. Thank you, Arnold. Terraform Mars, terraform Mars. Thank you, Arnold. When you go to Mars, you're accomplishing the dreams of Elon Musk. When you terraform Mars, you're surpassing Elon Musk. On Mars, there are self-propelled cars. Elon Musk makes self-propelled cars. Terraform Mars, terraform Mars. Arnold is king on Mars. He's king of the rebel forces. There are mutants on Mars, and they also drive and ride in self-propelled cars. Self-propelled cars, self-propelled cars. Don't fly out of the hatch and go out onto the surface of Mars. Your eyes will pop out of your head. That will probably leave a nasty scar on Mars. Terraform Mars, terraform Mars. Terraform Mars, terraform Mars. Thank you, Arnold. And Mr. Quaid, you helped terraform Mars.